today. And I'm alongside young Matilda's head coach, Leah Blaney. Leah, so excited for this one. There's been some storylines coming out this week, and the big one, I guess, is that one there, Emily van Egmond.
Absolutely fantastic to see EVE back in the Liberty A-League. Fresh off the back of a fantastic NWSL season with San Diego, and our own Matilda, who's just been at a World Cup.
Huge. So there's a few ins and outs for the Newcastle Jets. They have to change some things, and we'll see how that unfolds and plays out. Now to the Melbourne City lineup. They're doing so well. They've made just one change. In comes Tiana McKenna, and out goes Isabella Accardo. Ekic gets the start.
Yeah, look, it's an exciting lineup, and really good to see Ekic out there starting today after a good performance last week.
A really great performance last week. And the Newcastle Jets, the home side, the big headline news for them. Of course, we just mentioned her, Emily van Egmond, the Matilda's star midfielder, comes into the team for a 4-week stint. Can she be the change this Newcastle Jets need? She's got 137 Matilda's caps, played more than a decade with the national side. And Leah, you've had a bit to do with her and her family.
Yeah, look, Em's a former teammate as well as Matilda's player, and I look forward to her settling this midfield and just controlling a bit of that tempo for the Newcastle Jets in there.
And that woman there is possibly the hottest commodity in Women's A-League right now. Holly McNamara, she is on a Mac attack. 3 goals last week, 4 goals over the season, 4 goals from 4 matches. It's not a bad ratio, Leah.
It isn't. The Kellyville Colt Jr. now on the big stage. So excited for Holly. We know every time she gets the ball, something's going to happen, and we look forward to her in action today.
She is someone who can make something out of nothing. And this man there, Gary van Egmond, the home side coach, it's pretty useful to have the father of a Matilda star on your side and being able to call up the national side and say, hey, can we borrow Emily for 4 matches? And maybe she can be the game changer. Of course, Newcastle, they've got 1 loss, a couple of losses, 1 win and a draw this season. And Emily van Egmond could be the change. Congratulations and thank you to our referees, Asaka Kozumi, head referee today for this afternoon's match. They really are the third team. And Dario Vidicic, former Socceroo, now Melbourne City head coach. He came into the team mid-season last year and he's really been effective, hasn't he, Leah?
Yeah, he's got the girls playing some good football. Not only a Socceroo, he's also been a young Socceroo and an Olyaroo. So he certainly comes from a high-level playing ground, and it's good to see him plying his trade as a coach in the Liberty A-League right now.
Certainly plenty of football pedigree on this field, both inside and outside the sidelines, as we watch the players take their final words of preparation. Just about to get underway for kickoff. And Cass Davis is back in the side, which is also a massive, massive boost for the Jets. She had the longest streak playing in Liberty A-League, 132 games, not missed a single game, missed last week with a foot injury, a foot infection, and she's back this week. So we will see just what that brings. Van Egmond and Cass Davis back. And we are underway. Round 5, Sunday afternoon. Liberty A-League action between the Jets and Melbourne City. And already there's a player down. And that is not the way we like to start the game. We'll have a look at the replay. It looks like Taylor Otto.
Yeah, look, you can just see it's just a collision between both players and possibly collected her in that inner quad area, which can be a quite painful event.
Yeah, possibly. Do you think it could be a cork or... I mean, she looks pretty rattled, Otto. You hate to see it just within literally the first few seconds off kickoff. Collided with, looked like Lara Gooch. and possibly winded. Just needs a second to pull herself up, and yeah, she's taking some deep breaths. So that does happen. You can get winded from a player on player, but it's not what Dario Vidicic needs to see.
No, it isn't, and you can see that Dario isn't on his feet. He hasn't got somebody else warming up, so I'd suspect that Otto's just going to return to play here, and business as usual.
We certainly hope so, and that does appear to be what's going on. So Melbourne City to start the game. After an early initial knock, we are underway with a lob up forward to McNamara, the woman of the moment, already seeking green space out front. High ball back, and Hughes heads it forward. And this one will be collected by Prue. Nervy moments, almost letting it go to the high pressure of Newcastle Jets. That's danger zone.
Yeah, and this Melbourne City side is going to have to be aware of the speed that Newcastle Jets have up front. You can see young Lara Gooch. She's a fearless player. She's brave and she's super quick. So anytime that balls are played in behind, she's going to be an absolute threat for them today.
Certainly an early threat for the home side. And there's Van Egmond with her first touch of the game. Rebecca Stott, the captain, sends it away out of danger to the left wing, though. Grosso decides to just go back and play it around to her keeper. Prue, the Canadian. There's Otto. So she does look like she's running okay, possibly winded, a little shaken up from the initial contact. And Prue handling the ball, trying to manufacture some sort of attacking structure. Big boot long into the central of field. And Newcastle will have to retreat to collect. And Nino sends it wide this time, down the right sideline. Gallit just battling with her opposing number. There's Otto again. Just a bit of back and forth early in this game. Each team sort of feeling each other out, Leah. So the story of the Newcastle Jets has been not one to get excited about yet, but I think this week fans have really stood up.
Yeah, look, they've got a great fan and support base that get around this group. It's a young side. There's been a quite a bit of turnover this year. We see young players like Karapidis coming into the lineup today who are all under the age of 20. So if they can stay together and get some consistency over a number of A-League seasons, this Newcastle side could be a very, very good team in the league.
We certainly hope so, and Van Egmond might be the spark that sets the Jets on fire. And Cass Davis back. So much potential, as this is a lovely ball to the right-hand sideline, and it's Torpy, the torpedo in, meets a player. Oh, McNamara's lurking, and it's sent out of danger by Bauman. Well played defensively by the Jets. And now there's a moment for the Jets even to attack. Gallit is on. Sorry, it's Gooch. Gooch working on her opposing number. Gallit there, trying to defend and send it out of danger. So end-to-end football. Cross ball in, head up. Nothing on, but it's still in possession. Oh, that's a big boot. Nearly tricked the goalkeeper. Okay, so we've seen a little bit of a spray of attack from both sides, and Holly McNamara is getting involved early.
Yeah, and you mentioned that end-to-end, Kate, and in terms of how the game's going to go today, this Melbourne City side are going to want to control the game. They're going to want to have the ball for long periods. They want to take out this transitional moments and actually just keep the ball, whereas this Newcastle side are happy to play a transitional game that works in their favour.
I think the more chaotic, the better for the Newcastle Jets, because we know how structured and clinical Melbourne City can be and have been. And that kind of defeating is great, and this is a perfect ball on the left sideline. It's sent away out of danger, but those turnovers there in the midfield is what might hurt Melbourne City. Torpy, such a stalwart defender, so young but already really building her profile in this side. So Prue will try it again, left sideline now. Opts to go back again. It's a bit of a boomerang for Prue. Wonder if they use boomerangs much over in Canada. High pressure coming from the Jets. Gooch is putting a lot of pressure on the defensive line for Melbourne City.
And I don't think it's a bad way of approaching this Melbourne City side. As I mentioned, they love to be on the ball. They want to play. It'll just be, can the Jets sustain this for 90 minutes? It's a warm day. All those factors are going to come into play later on in the game. But for now, it's effective. This Melbourne City side are, for most part, playing in their defensive half.
Certainly, and you think if they could catch them on the back foot, Melbourne City, it might be a chance, but Holly McNamara loves to catch players on the back foot, and that's exactly what she's doing on the front foot now for her side. Wilkinson was in the penalty box. McNamara couldn't find a way around, but she'll get another chance here. Oh, nearly a crossing ball. Ekic, the new player this side. Ekic, crossing in. Oh no, that was such a chance. Oh, it's in! The second attempt, the rebound goes in. Gallit gets her first for the match. The first strike was rebounded out, and the second, Gallit gobbled right up.
And that's a fantastic finish by the youngster, and you can see her with the heart emoji. The family are probably up from Sydney all at the game in the grandstands. Torpy's probably going to want to do better with that next time, but Gallit, she's in the box, she's an attacking player. The technique on this kid to keep that ball down and finish with such composure is beyond her years.
The volley was impeccable. The timing, the finish. Outstanding. So Gallit puts her side up. Melbourne City with an early lead in Newcastle on this Sunday afternoon. Opens her account. Daniela Gallit, the midfielder. And that puts the Jets under a little bit of pressure early on. Plenty of time to even the scoreline, only 9 minutes in. But that was some strike. One for the highlights reel for Gallit now. Torpy goes again. So involved in so many of the attacking plays is Torpy. Speed, creativity, skills. Exciting to watch this Melbourne City side. Oh, high turnover. Lara Gooch putting that pressure back on. And City managed to take it out again. Gallit sends it to her left side. Ekic, the striker. Oh, sells some candy. Nothing on, goes back. Gallit. Nearly an easy turnover. And there she is, Emily Van Egmond jumps at the opportunity, as she's so liable to do, but that one wasn't really well placed for Lara Gooch.
No, and it's going to take some time for EVE to settle into this squad. She's obviously just arrived from playing in another club. She's with some new teammates. She's got a lot of youth around her at the moment in players like Gooch and Karapides and Chico, and the likes of some others. So getting on the same page quickly is going to be something that's paramount for this Jets side with her.
Absolutely. And Leah, as head coach of the Young Matildas, you've also had a career playing over in America with the Boston Breakers and also for the Matildas, as this sends an errant ball forward. And there's an opportunity now for the Jets. Hoban had it within her reach, but sent it out of reach for Lauren Allen. We'll come back to that, Leah, because I do want to know what you have to say about the Egmond, the Van Egmond clan. I know you've had a lot to do with them over the years. And also the other side, the coach, Dario Vidicic. So Lorena Baumann finds Van Egmond, can't collect. Van Egmond again, just battling with Otto. Baumann, dangerous position, players in the goal mouth working. And this will be the Jets throw in. Cass Davis gets her first involvement. Probably had a number of involvements already, but up high, within striking distance. She got that incredible goal back in round 3. And she's such a key piece for this Newcastle Jets side. So Leah, Van Egmonds, what is about them that makes them so powerful in the football world?
Oh, look, they're just a football family. They love and breathe the game. Obviously, we've got daughter Emily, who's in our Matildas setup, as well as Father Gary, who's previously been in the Matildas, the young Matildas, and both have played the game themselves. So I imagine there's been some difficult 1v1 coaching in the backyard for Em, but it's probably made her the player she is, having a football father.
Absolutely. I would love to see the backyard antics of the Van Egmonds. As we see another attack coming from Hughes on her opposing number. And that's lovely play by Baumann, who gets it out to Van Egmond, and she's got space, the player that you've just mentioned, Leah. Oh, that's perfectly placed, a little too long, but she can collect and cross back. Oh, wow, Van Egmond! Van Egmond gets on the scoreboard! Oh my goodness, Van Egmond comes back into Newcastle for a 4-week stint and wastes no time in finding the net. That was a rocket off the right boot. And it's 1-1 here in Newcastle.
Fantastic finish by EVE, and it's a great little turn on the sideline there with a final pass that potentially could have been a free kick. Great little ball across the goal by Gooch, and just the composure. We saw it up the other end with the next generation in Daniela Gallit, and now we're seeing it from the Newcastle Jets midfielder up this end, Emily Van Egmond. Composed, they're clinical, they're in the right time, and it's an excellent finish.
She came out of nowhere, and for all money, the Newcastle Jets thought that opportunity was over, but Van Egmond gobbled it up. So it's 1-1, and not the story we expected so early on. 2 goals within the first 15 minutes. And gee, this is what the fans came down to Newcastle for.
Absolutely, and you see Van Egmond bring in the girls after she scores that goal. Just that leadership and probably just reiterating to them, hey, we're in this. We can come back, we can score, and that's just another level that our Matildas are going to bring to this Liberty A-League.
An absolute team player and an inspiration for so many of her teammates and so many women footballers in Australia and around the world. Van Egmond, she's come back from the US. She was playing over in San Diego, and you know a little bit about the US system over there, Leah. It makes athletes out of everyone. And your experience in the Boston Breakers, is there a different playing style that the Americans tend to favour?
Look, I think they used to have a very athletic style. I think now that we've got players from all over the world playing in the NWSL, just like our Liberty A-League, every international brings something different. So it's certainly making it a lot more diverse in terms of their football.
And Van Egmond is on the ball again. So selfless, sets up Gooch for a cross. Oh, there was a head coming in. Couldn't quite connect, just pushed out of the way was Lauren Allen. Van Egmond already getting very involved in the scoring for the Newcastle Jets, and her dad's probably pretty happy with that early goal. He's a passionate man, passionate about football. Karapetis getting a little toe poke on it before it goes out, and Torpy will throw in for City. We're trying to just steal a few extra meters, as we all like to do. And she'll go back instead. So Stott. They use Prue a lot to set up the players, and she's got such a big boot. She can really find players in space.
They do, and Melbourne City spoke about that at the start of the season with their recruitment in terms of having a goalkeeper that was connected to the back line, that was comfortable in their build-up. It's a big piece of this Melbourne City's build-up, and it helps them in moments where they need to overload and create little 2v1 opportunities where they actually use her to exploit their opponent's press.
It is really a weapon, isn't it? If you've got a goalkeeper who can get involved in the attacks as well as defend, as well as Prue does, certainly gives you an edge. So the Jets come up with it again, and Van Egmond trying to find Gooch. I've been so impressed with this front line of the Jets so far this game. Van Egmond tries to set up her teammate, can't. McNamara sends it forward. And Wilkinson and McNamara haven't been able to collaborate just yet, but it is exciting when they do. Torpy. This is that real end-to-end football developing that you mentioned, Leah.
It is, and I think a lot of Wilkinson and McNamara being starved of the ball is this press from Newcastle Jets. They're suffocating City and making it very hard for them to play. They're preventing their playmakers in centre midfielder to receive the ball. So if I'm Melbourne City, I'm asking a little bit more mobility in our midfield. Can we get them in between lines facing forward and just giving some service to McNamara and Wilkinson more often?
And Cass Davis is receiving some kind of warning from the referee, Asaka Kozumi. I didn't quite catch what that was about. But we will fill you in if we do find any updates. And Policina, one of those midfield players who's really not had a chance to get much ball so far, Leah.
No, she hasn't, and we know whenever Policina's on the ball, something's going to happen. She's a fantastic player. As you can see, McNamara and Davis, we go back to the foul there and why she got the foul against her.
Crossing ball from Torpy. No, it was McNamara and Policina, the woman that the Jets do not want to leave roaming. So it looks like there was a little bit of a tussle and a foul that has received the warning. Gee, that's danger ball straight through the middle, but it's worked. And the Jets are jetting again. Lara Gooch tries to run straight through the captain. Rebecca Stott on her backside. And gee, this is going to be a good replay.
Yeah, look, and I don't not mind it. You know, obviously the two-handed push, let's remove that. But the tenacity of the youngster. Rebecca Stott, welcome to Newcastle. I'm Lara Gooch. She's 18 years of age, and I love the fire, but obviously let's just remove the two hands.
Yeah, the push probably not technically allowed, but always eyes for the ball, Lara Gooch, and it's paying off. She set up Van Egmond earlier, and those two collaborating in the front has been a powerful weapon for the Jets as they're jetting off again. Chico into Van Egmond. Van Egmond! Oh, it's gone out. She wants another. She is not satisfied with just one net today.
She is, and what I love to see with this Jets attack is you see Van Egmond on the ball, but you've got Gooch crashing the box as well. So they're trying to get players forward in goal-scoring positions, and there's a really positive intent to the start of this match for Newcastle.
it is really positive. And you know what? The momentum feels like it's going the way of the home side thus far. And Van Egmond's going to take this corner kick in, and this is a real chance. Ball's high. Oh, connected, but couldn't find net, says Allen, and that was possibly an opportunity gone missing.
Absolutely a missed opportunity. Excellent delivery. Great timing for Allen. She's positioned well. She just has to redirect that towards the goal.
And she didn't even have much pressure on her back. You could see the other players fall away. Polisina was involved and Wilkinson, but she had net right there. Goalkeeper was well out of the way, so that's one she'd probably prefer to have again, and she might just if Van Egmond has anything to do with it. She's fired up now, Allen. And Sophie Hoban also fired up. Cass Davis has a swing. Possibly a hidden hope. Well, that stayed in. Unbelievable. Torpy showing her class. Torpedo speed. There's a bit of body work going on. I don't mind it. Zoe Karapetis wins out, and Van Egmond goes again. Can't go through them, though. So now Wilkinson. I do think it would be a pretty good investment for the Newcastle Jets to probably extend her stay, Van Egmond. She's already earned her keep with the one goal.
Look, I'm sure that's not a bad shout that the Newcastle Jets would love to execute.
We'll put a call into her dad later on through you, Leah. I know you've got a great contact list, and Polisina looking puffed. It is hot out there. It's mid-20s and Newcastle can get sticky. And you do think with the frenetic pace of this game that it could just be something that's difficult to maintain throughout the full 90 minutes. So Bauman takes a midfield cross through. Polisina won't let it happen. And Pryor sends it wide. They go down the right side. Chico. And who else? Van Egmond. Big ball in, no one home. Skied it out off the baseline.
And I like seeing Bauman set up higher this week for Newcastle Jets. They have more of a back three in place. Again, that intent to be positive and play super aggressive against Melbourne City. I like this shift by the Newcastle Jets.
It was Copus Brown. It was not Van Egmond. Both blonde and incredibly impressive strikers and midfielders, but they'll go back again through Prue, Melbourne City. They have not had much opportunity to get up their end yet, Melbourne City. So there's been a lot of pressure on the defensive line for City.
Yeah, there definitely has, and I think we just saw the passing accuracy up on the screen in terms of the differences. Newcastle just have to secure the football a little bit better and stick some of their passes, and we'll see them have more success in this half.
Van Egmond again. Oh, she's got friendly fire. Lara Gooch couldn't get out of the way in time. Gee, she's shaking her head, and you are shaking your head here in the box, Leah.
Gooch is shaking her head. Van Egmond's telling her to get out of the way. Look, great half chance for Newcastle Jets, and a difficult one for the youngster as well to move her body and get out of the way there.
There's a lesson for everyone there. Do not get in the way of Van Egmond and a goal. That looked for all money on target. So Lara Gooch, one she'd prefer to have back. As Copus Brown works back in defence. And Chico too involved. So it's only 1-1, but it could be 3-1 to Newcastle with the opportunities they've had. Two very good looks at the goal that didn't go in. Torpy resetting for City. Oh, Polisina can't connect, and Cass Davis instead pounces on the chance. Bauman, oh, that's beautiful. Now a chance, strike with the left boot. Lara Gooch had a chance to go back the other end and claim back the net that she denied Emily Van Egmond earlier.
Yeah, and that's a great little way to pass through by Bauman. And you can just see how much the Jets actually rely on their build-up through this left side. A lot is going and ending with Lara Gooch at the moment. Touched on it. She's 18 years of age. Newcastle girl through and through. Hunter Sports High kid. A tremendous up-and-coming talent. And it's just great to see the amount of game time she's getting in this league with her home side.
The waiting on the ball from Bauman was absolutely perfect. And if everything arrived on time as Lara Gooch did, if all our public transport arrived as much on time, I think we'd have a really well operating city, both in Melbourne and Sydney and in Newcastle, where they have a tram, beautiful tram. There's some kind of injury just being looked at. It doesn't look too serious, but Gooch is just on the ground getting checked out. We'll get a replay up of that incident. Trying to watch it back and see. She looks okay running off of her own accord. But it looks like she might have a substitution. And there'll be a corner kick just while that replay is going on. And there's lots of confusion. There was a kick from Van Egmond that was not on your screens, but it was during the replay, and now it will be re-kicked again. I don't think the referee was quite ready or had called time back on. So Van Egmond with the corner. High ball, plenty of players in the area. Oh no, another one's gone down. Play goes on, but Natasha Pryor is clutching her head and on the ground for Newcastle Jets. And she does not look in a good way.
Yeah, she certainly doesn't, and it appears to have been a head clash between Pryor and possibly Wilkinson there. We'll have to check the replay. If I'm Sydney, I've probably got Wilkinson on Pryor because we know she's a attacking threat on set pieces. Yeah, so it's definitely Wilkinson, and it looks like no malice in it. She's just jumped up and she's caught Pryor with her elbow there.
Oh yes, elbow to the temple. That's unlucky, but it does hurt, and there's such care taken these days about concussions and the concussion protocol, so you cannot be too careful. We know how much impact concussion can have in all sports, and Jet's able to just sneak out a drinks break at the same time.
Yeah, and I think in this huddle now, Dario Vidicic is going to be asking his team to get the ball down and play, and again just retain more bouts of possession in their opponent's half. It's a very technically excellent side, and I think at the moment they're just missing a little bit of mobility, a little bit of support around the ball when individuals are in possession, and just we want to see that city cohesion where they're able to play short, sharp passes and build up through people.
It does feel like they're not playing their usual brand, and possibly because the Jets have been applying this pressure and muddying their attacks and attempts to go through the midfield. But there are a number of players that have not had too many touches. Policina's not been as involved as she normally would. You know, Wilkinson's had a couple, but it's never really reached that far up because this midfield for the Jets is just suffocating, as you said, and that was a strong challenge. And yep, there'll be a yellow card on Bauman.
Yeah, and that's a deserved yellow card from my end. She's come in a little bit late there on Torpy, as the replay will show, and just caught her with her studs to the ankle.
Yeah, strong challenge and possibly a little clumsy from Bauman, not her characteristic form. That will earn the first yellow card of the match. And she'll get a warning. So we'll reset, and there's been ample opportunity for the Melbourne City side to do so under a relentless onslaught from the Jets in the hangar of Newcastle. And there's been 6 fouls so far in this game, all by Newcastle. Melbourne City playing clean, but not able to maintain any possession. They'll chance it now. Gallit moves forward. She's got players lurking. McNamara's in the spot. Wilkinson wants it. Cross ball. Gallit. Shot on. There's so many bodies in the way. And Van Egmond, the saviour of Newcastle, she sends it forward. And the speed of Gooch to get up at 1-on-1. And it's in! Lara Gooch finds the net for the Newcastle Jets. That pass, that finish, the pass was perfectly weighted from a veteran, Emily Van Egmond, and Gooch with the class to finish it.
And that's a fantastic goal by the Newcastle Jets. We have our current with our future right there in this build-up. EVE, she's side on, she's able to face forward, she steps in front of a defender. Beautiful little dink pass into space, and we touched on it earlier in the game. Lara Gooch has had a hand in a lot of this Newcastle attack. Great to see her rewarded with a goal.
What a pass, what a goal. So Van Egmond already in her 4-match stint, really earning her pay. As we said earlier, she's got a goal and an assist, and Lara Gooch makes up for the earlier one where she had a hand on the wrong side of the goal. She obviously stopped the shot. And now this is a battle we'd love to see. McNamara on Davis. And Jets come up with it. So this is the scoreline, 2-1 in the first half. Newcastle at home. Round 5 of Liberty A-League, and a real upset brewing early on in the match. Of course, still a half to go, but all the stats, all the possession has been the way of the ladies in gold. Now a chance for City to reset. They're fired up for sure after that, after they looked at every opportunity of scoring down their end, and it went end to end within moments. Karapetis sends it forward. Van Egmond. Oh, it's in space again. It might have been called offside, but not.
Yeah, I think the crowd's asking for contact that was made on Gooch there. And again, it's the linesperson's decision. But from my end, Stott has pulled Gooch back there. And yeah, I actually think that's a free kick to Newcastle, no doubt.
So Leah Blaney reckons that should have been a foul and a free kick to Newcastle from Lara Gooch, who's absolutely playing out of her skin, a young star, rising star for Newcastle. And alongside a veteran, she has been able to let rip. Ball down City's end of the field, an area that we have not seen it very often. And Nino, the goalkeeper for the Jets, puts it up as high as a jet would almost fly.
Yeah, you just see on the replay there, and again, it's one for the linesperson. Possibly I'm wrong, or possibly Otto's in the way for her to see there, but from my end, she pulls her back. It's a professional foul, there's no malice, but it denied her getting in behind.
I agree with you there, Leah. There was a definite hand in that, and I think it was actually well placed from the perspective of City, because Stott was able to get behind, and the umpire, the referee on the sideline, couldn't see where that hand was. So gets away with one. And a ball in for the Jets now. They're still one up. 2-1. Again on the attack. Really high crossing ball. Prue gets to it first. The Canadian keeper boots it upfield, trying on the quick counter-attack. Van Egmond again comes up with it in the midfield. She is everywhere today. Taylor Otto trying to just recollect for the visitors. It's been up the defensive end of City so often. And Stott tries to manufacture something, anything. Wilkinson, oh, beaten. So clever, Pryor. And Van Egmond is in green space yet again, and that's a perfectly weighted ball. Gooch is on it. Oh, Prue has managed to beat her to it again. And Prue really on her heels to get to these balls, some of them very close and lurking.
Yeah, and she's a proactive goalkeeper. You can see that in terms of her positioning, she's a little bit higher, so she's able to come out and collect that little bit more shape on that pass for Van Egmond. Sees that into the path of Gooch.
Huge collision here with two of the stars of the game, Cass Davis and Van Egmond. The coach is not happy about it, but Cass Davis collided with Holly McNamara, two of the biggest stars of Women's A-League. Holly Mack already tipped early for Julie Dolan medalist possible. Oh, wow, that hurts.
Yeah, it's certainly a bigger collision in the middle of the pitch there, and I think the whole of number 2 sports ground isn't happy with that, given that Cass Davis is a stalwart for them.
McNamara got up high and almost kneed Davis in the face. I don't think it was deliberate, but it certainly was not a realistic attempt. Anyway, we play on. City in control at the back. Just under 10 minutes of regular time. Oh, that's a nice cross ball, midfield transfer. Lara Gooch handles it well. She's got Karapetis on the left wing, open space. Karapetis crosses. Still up in the air, Gooch. Hoban, sorry. Chance now, crossing ball, straight to the goalkeeper. Easily saved by Prue. So that's where they could possibly maintain a little more composure and just hold the ball and wait for something to open up, don't you think, Leah?
Yeah, definitely. I think just retaining the ball in this front third for longer periods of time for this Newcastle side is something that's going to help them create just a little bit better goal-scoring opportunities than what we just saw, where the defence is set and the GK is organised.
So a ball up again, and Hoban can get on it. Across in, Gooch is there, Van Egmond there. Otto sends it away, and it just keeps coming back in to the scoring box.
And same again, another good example. Newcastle seem to just be crossing for the sake of crossing. Create little overloads wide, draw this City side out of that central goal zone, and then I think, again, we're going to see some better half chances created.
That's a great call, Leah Blaney, young Matilda's head coach. Van Egmond again. EVE collects. Cass Davis, the favourite fans love. Oh, dangerous ball. Goes across to Bauman. Bauman sends it in. There's too many players in the way, but there's a chance now for Corpus Brown. Corpus Brown. It's gone high off the City defence. And it looks like it'll be a corner. Oh, no, it won't. Prue will take it. So unstructured but effective so far has been the story of the Jets, and this high pressure is really helping them turn over in optimum space. Prue with the big boot tries to connect with Wilkinson and Hughes. McNamara's got 2 to beat. Can she collect it? She can't, and there's a bit of defeat about her body language at the moment. Karapetis happy to play it around. Finds Corpus Brown on the left wing. Oh, nice overlapping run. Opts to go herself. Oh! Sent to the ground, and there's no card, but it's certainly a Newcastle Jets free kick.
Yeah, definitely a foul by Daniela Gallit there on Copus Brown, and clever by Copus Brown to actually step into the path of the defender. Gallit has two choices, slow down or foul, and you can see the youngster puts her hands up afterwards because it's not a malicious tackle, but you know, her only option was to slow down there.
Now Davis feeds her player Bauman with a little chip shot. Oh, danger zone. Van Egmond wanted it. Davis follows up. Bauman still on the ball. Oh, there's a push there. Policina just playing a little too rough.
Yeah, and this is the interesting and the good thing about playing in Newcastle. You're going to arrive and it's going to be a bit physical, and when you're down 2-1, how are you reacting? And is it with your football, or is it out of a little bit of frustration? Now we see some more fouls by Melbourne City, which isn't their game. Their response needs to be with the ball.
So the Matilda's star, Emily Van Egmond, chip shot, headed away by Grosso. Quite an easy save there, but there's still chance for the Jets to build up play, and there's an injured player grasping her hamstring. The fouls are absolutely flying here at number 2 Sports Ground. I think that's the 11th foul this afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Dario Visic is just looking a little worried about the lack of structure, and there's the hit that Sophie Hoban will hit, you know, stumble, grabbed her hamstring. You don't love to see it, but there'll be another kick.
Yeah, and you use the word lack. It's a complete lack of discipline out there at the moment by these Melbourne City side and players. Hoban is facing backwards there. Gallit just needs to get close enough so she plays a backwards pass without fouling.
Van Egmond, kick in, all players down. No foul play, says the referee. Bit of to and fro from Bauman. Bauman comes back up with it. She's got Allen lurking. Copus Brown, Gooch. Follow up, Gooch trying to find Hoban, Sophie Hoban. Couple more minutes left in this half. They would love to go into the change rooms with just one more. Gooch wants to take it on, does. Van Egmond, little slip pass. And that's probably a little too hard. Too much heat on it, but it stays in possession with the Jets.
Yeah, again, just not on the same page at the moment. It's a great little dig pass by Van Egmond for Allen, just being a little bit more proactive, and on that last line, she would find herself possibly on the receiving end of that.
So a throw in for the Jets in a dangerous area. Chico to Van Egmond, collaborating, trying to find a way in. I think the Jets will come up with it yet again. Now one of the crowd members kindly offers their assistance. Thank you. Ball in. Toying with it as Hoban can't beat Policina, but Van Egmond might. Heel kick. Allen was there and was not. Just can't quite get on the same page in the danger zone, in the red zone. Ball in again, another chance. Allen. That's knocked away. So Prue will kick it out and try to find a bit of space and breathing room for Melbourne City, who, Leah Blaney said it earlier, suffocated. So 5 minutes of injury time added to the first half. There's been a few injuries, a few knocks. And the woman of the moment, McNamara, is taken down unceremoniously. She's still on the floor, holding her knee. It's not what we love to see. It looked like a clean tackle, just unfortunate timing. But Hoban has no time to wait and see. She wants to attack, just as this whole side, the Newcastle side, have wanted to do all half. And Prue has got to be active as a goalkeeper. proactive.
And what's going to be key, as you can see in this clip for Melbourne City, is whether it's Wilkinson or McNamara actually securing the football there and moving the ball away from where the pressure is coming from. If she turns the other way there, she's actually in space.
As we see McNamara go down, and she was out in space, that'll be a yellow card for Pryor, Tash Pryor, with a late tackle. And you're so right, Leah, the first touch has not been great, especially in these congested midfield areas.
Yeah, it hasn't. If a team is going to high press like the Jets are, and players are able to find themselves on that last line back to goal, they've got to be able to secure the football there. In terms of this, Tash Pryor, just stay on your feet there. She's going towards the sideline. It's an unnecessary foul.
So an unnecessary opportunity in the shadows of halftime. Melbourne City get their chance to level the score. And Ekic comes back into the squad today. What can she manufacture for her side? Ekic. Ball in, headed away by Emily Van Egmond, who is an absolute magnet for the football this afternoon. She just reads it better than anyone on the park. And City again forced to go all the way back to their captain, Stott. Otto trying to find something, anything, secure the football, said Leah Blaney, and that's what they're doing now. Wilkinson. Hughes. Left sideline attack. Is there a chance through Grosso? Grosso has chance to send it in. Doesn't take it. Maintains possession. Oh, there's a volley, but it didn't have enough pepper on it. No way.
It didn't, but that's exactly the type of football we want to see out of Melbourne City.
And this is the Jets' afternoon. They keep going end to end, and Lara Gooch has another chance to score. And it just sails wide of the right post.
And you see the benefits of having a right-footed player break out on that left side with Gooch. She's able to break at pace. She cuts in on her preferred foot, and then it's just the execution. She's picked the right area of the goal to hit. It's just wrapping her foot around it and leaning over it a little bit more with a little bit more whip on that, and potentially we see her grab a second.
She has looked dangerous all game, and she's already got one in the bag. Would love to get two. She's been fired up by that first situation where she got in the way of Van Egmond scoring a second. And this just sailed right. I think she got a bit of backspin on it, Leah.
Yeah, definitely it's the execution there, and you can see her get her head up and look to pick that
spot.
spot.
Chance! A chance that was almost taken, and Prue got in the way. But the Jets are jetting at this goal. Stoppage time of 5 minutes, so just under a minute left. That was Bauman with her chance to get on the scoreboard. Possibly the last attack here before halftime. It's in, but safely sent away. Melbourne City getting their entire team back. Holly McNamara even defending now.
And you can see in terms of Laura Allen, she's just got to pick out one of the other Jets plays in the box there. I think the delivery, it's the right idea for an early delivery, but I think if she picks somebody out a little bit deeper at the penalty spot, then potentially that's a chance on goal.
Plenty of chances on goal, plenty of excitement here this Sunday afternoon in number 2 sports ground of Liberty A-League action. Newcastle Jets are up 2-1 against the undefeated Melbourne City. It's not the script we expected, but at halftime, Newcastle Jets go into the change rooms 2-1 up. First goal scored by Van Egmond, who's on a 4-week stint back from the Matildas, and then Lara Gooch at 32 minutes in Gallit got one back between those two for Melbourne City. But the game is really in the hands of Newcastle Jets so far. And as we'll see from the match highlights just coming up now. So talk us through these highlights. What's been the story of the game, Leah?
Great decision by Ekic to cut the ball back. Again, Daniela Gallit, she's in the right spot at the right time, centre midfielder, making forward runs, and the composure and the technique on this kid to finish. Really nice finish.
Composure, technique. Gallit had probably one of the greatest goals we've seen this round. It was a volley on the bounce, rebounded out, and it was a second attempt. But this pass from Emily van Egmond shows why she is one of the best in the world, and Lara Gooch to send it back in, and van Egmond to finish.
Fantastic goal, and I'm loving Gooch and van Egmond here on the same page in most build-ups, and you see that they're being rewarded for it. The weight of pass by Emily, and then obviously Gooch's attempt to get it back to her.
They really feel like they are on the same page. Van Egmond only returned to the squad this week, was at training under her dad, and just sent another beautiful ball. This was the ball of the round, and that finish by Lara Gooch, the young star. Such potential, such creativity, and pace is the word, I think, that stands out to me, Leah.
And what I'm absolutely loving about this match, and we're seeing out of this Newcastle side, these are homegrown Newcastle kids scoring for the Newcastle Jets.
We love a homegrown hero and a homegrown story. This is exactly what the stats will tell. Possession, interestingly, has been the way of Melbourne City, which is not what we've sort of thought, but it's been all up the way of Newcastle Jets in terms of territory.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, it's effective possession that wins you games, and that's what Newcastle Jets have done.
You can see there's a lot more fouls on the side of the Newcastle Jets, the home side. 10 fouls compared to Melbourne City's 3. So it's been a scuffle, but I think that's exactly how the home side like to play it. And Melbourne City have not been able to structure any of their usual clean, clinical attack. So it's half-time here at number 2 Sports Ground, and we'll be right back with the second half, 2-1 to Newcastle.
Egmond is proud to be the major community partner of the Newcastle Jets since 2015. Supporting both the women's and the men's teams to connect to their fans, inspiring the next generation of footballers in our community. Support of Newcastle and Newcastle Jets are iconic to our region, with an ongoing partnership that ensures our A-League women's team are successful locally and nationally. Support of Newcastle, your forward, our community. The University of Newcastle is a proud supporter of the Newcastle Jets, and their real-world impact takes real-world experience. That's why all their degrees offer hands-on practical training. In fact, there's a student on placement with the Jets right now. We invite you to partner with the University of Newcastle. Hand control is transforming the world as major sponsors of the Newcastle Jets women's A-League team. Handing up is support of our community. Hand control is a major partner in both our women's and men's teams. Let's get M for our Newcastle Jets. Silken FC, Andy Roberts, German Outfitters, Charlestown. All roads lead to Charlestown. Newcastle Live is the 100th premier source of entertainment and lifestyle news and information. A place devoted to all the great things happening in the region. From what's on to what matters, visit newcastlelive.com.au. Just because the season's kicked off, it doesn't mean it's too late to get involved in the official A-League Championship game. Selected favourite players compete for weekly cash prizes, families that play against friends and colleagues, and some extra intrigue every game across every round. What are you waiting for? Visit play.pickpark.com.au and build your sport today. D-Max, get out and live in the adventure-ready, versatile Isuzu D-Max. Go your own way. Have you heard? You can be proudly supporting athletes with free features, the game changers, and the goal kickers, both on and off the field. Free appliances for life and liberty. One for free features.
Welcome back. Sunday afternoon, Liberty A-League action. Round 5 sees the Newcastle Jets take on Melbourne City at home. We've just had halftime break, and the story of the game has been Emily Van Egmond. She scored one, the first for the Newcastle Jets, and then assisted her teammate Lara Gooch, the youngster, the 18-year-old local product, to get the second. Melbourne City have won. It is 2-1. With the second half just about to get underway. And let's have a look at some of the highlights from Emily Van Egmond's starring role in the first 45. Leah Blaney, who is with me in commentary, Kate Allman. Leah, what have you seen?
Oh, look, we've seen what it does when you add in a central midfielder who's technically excellent, has great vision. It's been the Emily Van Egmond show today. She's been a class above her weight of pass, the different techniques she has in her locker. She's absolutely bossing this midfield for both teams.
Bossing is the word, and her dad is actually the boss, of course. Van Egmond, the coach of the Newcastle Jets. And he's just rung up the Matildas squad and said, hey, can we have her? This pass to Lara Gooch and the finish was unbelievable. Possibly the highlight of the round, of the match. And Gooch and Van Egmond have been collaborating all over the pitch. Total shots 3, shots on target 2, and goals 1. That's a pretty good ratio, Leah Blaney.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I've touched on just having such a good passing range, and her game intelligence has really taken this Newcastle Jet side to the next level for that first 45 minutes. Let's hope that they continue with it this second half.
So Gary Van Egmond's side up 2-1 against the unbeaten so far this season, Melbourne City. And Torpy tries to get an early attack for Melbourne City. Holly McNamara, a shoot early, a little high, but that's more like it from Melbourne City. Holly McNamara hasn't had too much to do with attacking sprays yet, but this was a pretty nice strike.
Yeah, and that's a great little inside pass by Caitlin Torpy, and these are the areas of the field that we want to see McNamara in. If she leans over that, then potentially that's a greater chance of being on target. As is, she leans over it and it goes over.
Kate Allman here with Leah Blaney, young Matilda's head coach, if you're just joining us for the second half of this round 5 clash. And Emily Van Egmond, the star of the show, is on the ball yet again, working on her opposing number, Otto. Or Lara Gooch unceremoniously put down. Apparently it was all clear. Referee says nothing, and there's bodies going down everywhere. It's been a scrap so far.
Yeah, and that's what we saw in the first half, and that's exactly what the Newcastle Jets are going to want. They're going to want to disrupt the momentum and the fluency of play that we know this Melbourne City side is capable of.
Cass Davis, the local hero, the player that has played more consecutive games than any in the Liberty A-League. 132 consecutive streak was broken last week. Of course, she was out for a foot infection injury. And Torpy's just pleading with the referee here. Asaka Kazumi. So it's been a scrap. Leah Blaney, you have better knowledge than me, and I might ask you whether you think this referee is having a good game.
Yeah, look, I think she's probably had better days. I think there's been some calls that potentially she's missed. We're all human, of course, and she's an expert, not me, at being a referee. But in terms of the rest of the game, she's definitely got to settle it and get a bit of control of it. We don't want it getting out of hand.
It's a great call, Leah Blaney. Young Matilda's head coach, but also had an impressive international career. A number of international matches for Australia. Matilda's played professionally in Australia and US and Sweden, as we see the ball going up high for City, and that's a lovely slide tackle by Tash Pryor on Wilkinson. Emily Van Egmond, can I have your jersey? Plenty of young fans probably want it. She's just about the most exciting news this week. The other exciting news has been the other side. Melbourne City, Holly McNamara. As we see Torpy trying to feed McNamara, possibly. Oh, Polisina was there, but couldn't get a handle on it. And Holly McNamara with the hat trick last weekend. There's a counter-attack on, though, for the Jets. There's all gas, no brakes from the Jets. Back into Van Egmond. Oh, it's safely seen away by Julia Grosso, but it's still in possession of the home side. Allen cross. And that's gobbled up by Prue. Prue really has been trying to settle her team down. Just have a little bit of breathing room, because of course Melbourne City love to play with a lot of structure, Leah. You said this earlier in the game. They're known for their clean possession, and that's something they've not been able to do, maintain possession of the ball and get a good first touch.
Yeah, and I think for the remainder of this game, that's something that would have been addressed at halftime by Vidosic, to get the ball down, to find players in between lines and play some of their football. Don't allow the Jets to disrupt their momentum.
The momentum has all been with the Jets so far. Wrestling it back. Lara Cooch gets out in front again, but she can't beat Stott, the veteran. Grosso sends it up to Wilkinson. Wilkinson just toying with Allen. Boots it off her, and it'll be a Melbourne City throw-in. Gallit back to Otto, back to Prue. A bit of time just to reset for City. Cass Davis wants to let them have none of that. High pressure again. Works her way through, does Grosso. And Grosso now finds herself out in space. There's a cross ball. McNamara was leading, and she's not happy with that. The feed was on, Leah.
Yeah, and Grosso's done so well to break the press there on the dribble, and now it's just a little bit of composure and decision-making with that final pass, and possibly find the feet of McNamara as the better option.
McNamara had a lovely crossing lead, but Tash might get another chance. Tash Pryor finds Wilkinson. Gallit is up there too, but Van Egmond, who's been absolutely everywhere for the Jets, finds Allen on the right wing, can't collaborate.
And as you can see, Grosso, she's done well to attack space. She's broken a few lines, and then it's just that final decision-making piece. The goalkeeper's on her line there. I would have liked her to see a final pass into McNamara.
Player's gone down in a battle over on the sideline for the Jets. Oh, Gooch is out in space. Gooch possibly too far, needs to cross it, waiting for reinforcements. Van Egmond sails wide. Emily Van Egmond and Lara Gooch. That is a pair that is an exciting prospect for Newcastle.
Definitely in sync, and it's a great decision by Gooch to find Van Egmond, and for all the quality and how highly we've spoken of her. I think, you know, she changes feet in this moment and actually strikes that ball with her left foot. I think she had enough time to do it, and then we see that on target.
Yeah, just a little too much spin on it, and there was a wide open net on Van Egmond's left, goalkeeper's right. But I like the build-up and those long balls weighted into space for Lara Gooch. She has shown that she can attack the space and get there first, as we see Cass Davis, the captain, receiving a warning, possibly for her team. What do you think that's about, Leah?
Yeah, look, I'm unsure. Obviously, as the captain, well within her rights to question the referee on whatever the matter was. Mindful, though, I think she's on a yellow card. So just a bit of game smarts in how she approaches that.
McNamara, oh, another push. She's gone down. It's a heavy fall. She had two Jets working on her. And I suppose that's a pretty good decision to put two on one of the hottest commodities in women's football.
Yeah, and you can just see the acceleration of McNamara. She's a quick player. She's able to get between the two youngsters there, and similar to some of the fouls we saw in the first half, you have a choice to either slow down or let the attacker dribble in between you there, and the decision's been made to foul by young Claudia Chico and Karapedes.
So McNamara halted but not stopped, as they will have a free kick in a dangerous area. Policina to take it. Wilkinson lines up. Otto, McNamara, Policina opts to go to her teammate, going wide. Ekic had it and lost it. So there's a substitution being made. Wilson on and Bauman going off for the Jets. Gary Van Egmond not happy with that little piece of work. Under attack are the Jets' defence. Not something we've seen much of in the first half. Melbourne City hoping to wrangle some control back as Wilson gets her first touch, and it's a beautiful one down to Emily Van Egmond, who's got miles of space. Oh, nearly collected ahead of Lara Gooch yet again, but Prue gets in the way. She bobbled it, and it was a nervy moment for the defence of City yet again. Van Egmond asking questions of the defence.
Yeah, and that's a great little weighted pass into the pass of Van Egmond. You can see she's got her head up. She's looking for runners in the box. Her and Gooch are on the same page, and Lara Gooch just actually has to try and get in front of the goalkeeper there, change speed right before the ball is about to land in that 6-yard zone.
So another chance. As the Jets take control yet again. There's space on the right. She collects it, does Wilson. Already with two important touches. Wilson coming off the bench. Wilson into Van Egmond. Rolls it to the left. Weighted ball. Oh, tussle. Two players going down. Van Egmond's enjoying herself out here in Newcastle. How much do you think it would take to keep Van Egmond for the entire season? And do you think the Newcastle fans are hoping for that situation?
Oh, look, I think everybody's probably hoping for it. Looking at Van Egmond, she's had a long season in the NWSL. It's great to have her at home for this guest stint. She's got some international activity. I dare say a break over Christmas might not be a bad shout.
Copus Brown now attacking on the left. Emily Van Egmond trying to find a space to shoot. Hoban might. Can't find it, but Wilson follows it up. Grosso and Wilson. It was a foot race won by Melbourne City. And these Jets are just lurking always within range of a tackle. Melbourne City struggling to find a way out. The former Socceroo Dario Vidicic, who took over from his father in the middle of the season last year, who previously coached the women's side, and his father went over to the men's, and Dario was able to step up. He took the torch, the baton, and he's done pretty well so far, Leah. Oh, tussle again, and players down everywhere. This time it goes the way of Melbourne City. So Grosso and Otto will send it back to Prue. Prue just trying to control. The pressure is coming from the Jets, but they've found a way out, and there's a lob ball over to the left sideline. No one home. It was nicely weighted. Cass Davis sees it out. Now Wilson will send it back in. So historically, Melbourne City have won 12 of the last 13 matchups between these two sides. The only other result was a 1-1 draw. So Newcastle have never beaten Melbourne City. And what an upset it would be to take points from the second ladder leaders, as Newcastle is still in 8th position. They really would love the 3 today. McNamara is going to do her best to prevent it, and Torpy fed beautifully. Shots on. Oh, it's fingertip save. It's still on. Wilkinson's following. Oh my goodness. Isabel Nino saves the day, and I think that was an opportunity gone begging for Wilkinson.
Yeah, it's a great little bit of build-up play between McNamara and Torpy, and in terms of Tash Pryor's role there, she does enough to get her body in the way between Wilkinson and the football, which makes it a little bit hard to make contact for Wilkinson.
Just did enough, did she, Pryor, to involve herself and get in the way, and tangled with her goalkeeper and Melbourne City strikers, but it was enough. And Newcastle still with the lead. City setting to rebuild. Well, that's a nice steal by Pryor, who's had plenty of involvement, and Gooch again showing her pace. Oh, spin move. Nearly gets around. Wilson follows up. Cass Davis takes on, but it'll be a Melbourne City ball.
And just the tenacity of Gooch there. She's attempting a Maradona spin on a World Cup player. Yeah, in terms of the confidence of this kid, it's superb.
It feels like her confidence is really built through the game, and that goal shot that she hampered from Emily Van Egmond fired her up, and when she was able to get one back, then get on the scoreboard. Since then, she has grown in stature for this team and in this match, and her pace is just incredible. The acceleration, she gets out behind her defender every single time, and yet has not been called offside once. And Melbourne City, and Prue has had more touches than just about anyone on the field today. She's just trying to steady her team. And Hughes lets it go. So Jets have it, big high ball. Lurking is Wilson. Great save, Grosso. Julia Grosso been under relentless pressure from the striking line of the Newcastle Jets. Quite a crowd building on the hill there. Number 2 sports ground on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Where else would you rather be for a blockbuster that sees your home side up 60 minutes in? Opportunity. Hoban. Ball in. Couldn't collect it. Was Gooch. Now it's gone up the other end, and McNamara is working on Karapetis. McNamara wins that battle. Wilkinson is coming in support. Needs a cross ball. Defence has reallocated their people still in McNamara's hands. Oh, torpedo over the bar.
And that's a really nice sequence of link play between Torpy and McNamara. It's been coming. There's been other glimpses of it in this half, but you can just see that in terms of the little underlapping run by Torpy and the decision for McNamara to cut that ball back. Torpy's just got to lean over it. She's in a great position there. She just leans back a little bit too far and it goes over.
Really impressive talent has Torpy. I've liked her game so far through the first 5 rounds of Liberty A-League, but that opportunity could have been handled better. So Taylor Otto now on the ball for Melbourne City. And they get too many more of those chances and don't finish, it's going to hurt them. Emily Van Egmond will make sure of that for the Newcastle Jets. Lara Gooch relentlessly chasing. Emily Van Egmond not short of fitness either. There's just so much pressure on Stott and her defensive line for City. Gets out the back, does McNamara, and she's sent flying by a late tackle. That one probably hurt. Uh-oh. That's not what you like to see. This has been a scrap, but the push and shove just stepped up a little. Cass Davis and Policina having a few strong words, and now a few strong words with the referee and Policina. There's a yellow card being brandished. Where it will land, we're yet to find out. Referee Asaka Kazumi has done her best to maintain control of this game, but it's got heated. In the hot sun of Newcastle, there's been injuries and fouls, and at the moment it looks like there's a yellow card.
Yeah, and fair enough. McNamara's done really well to secure the football there. Copus Brown, she's come across to break up play. Again, I don't think there's any malice in it. It's just a late challenge where she's caught McNamara, and then I guess it's kicked off a little bit afterwards. But great call by the referee to award the card and the free kick to Melbourne City.
Fair enough, you'd think. And oh, Davis came in there with the late push in the back of Policina, and she's not happy. Policina the first to stand up for her teammate McNamara. The yellow card really deserved.
Yeah, and yellow was awarded to both players there, either side for Jets and City, and fair enough in terms of both of them putting their hands on each other. It's not what the game is for.
So Policina ended up with a yellow card, possibly for laying a hand on the scuffle that ensued after the late tackle. So both teams given a stern warning. McKenna coming on now for City, try and inject a bit of fire in the attack.
And I think this is tactically this is a good sub for Vidicic. We know the quality of McKenna, and if City are struggling to break through this Jets press, and they need central midfielders on the ball who can find passes and pick people in between lines, I think she's the player for it.
So McKenna on. And a chance to give her side a bit of spark and a bit of fresh legs.
Yeah, and we've also seen the addition of Naomi Chittima, again, a ball-playing defender who I think is going to help add some more effective possession for this City side.
They need something. There definitely needs to be something to change, because at the moment, the 8th placed Newcastle Jets are all over the 2nd placed Melbourne City. What a story it would be on their home turf to put it to Melbourne City and beat and strike out their undefeated streak. To put a halt to the undefeated. Someone who will be doing her best to ensure that does not occur is Stott. The defender, the veteran, Melbourne City. Stott opts to go left this time to Grosso. Pressure coming, as it always is. All gas, no brakes from the Newcastle Jets front line. McNamara wins it. She's in space now. She's got Gallit on the left. She's got Wilkinson, Policina in the penalty box. Gallit now holding possession, Melbourne City. Bit of a build-up of play. Cross ball comes in. Oh, it's safely caught by Isabel Nino. And a huge pass out. Quick counter-attack is the way they love to play, and Wilson on her opposing number ends up on the floor as well. Most of these players have hit the deck at some point, Leah.
Yeah, and you can just see the defensive effort by forward Lauren Allen to actually get a little bit of a foot in there, and so it isn't a clear-cut cross for Torpy, and that just highlights the work rate of this Newcastle Jets front line today. They're in the front third, they're in their defensive half, they're executing a massive shift out there.
It does feel like there's been a little momentum swing. Possibly Melbourne City trying to wrestle it back, but it's been all the way of Newcastle. If you're just joining us, 2-1 to Newcastle, the underdogs coming into this match. Wilson throws it in. Emily Van Egmond on the ball, and she can't find a player. So City happy to just send it long and wide and get a bit of breathing room. Wilson has really been an effective substitution, I think, for this Newcastle Jets side, Leah.
Yeah, I think she's been excellent. She's come on, she's retained possession, she's rolled her sleeves up when she's had to, the Newcastle way, and yeah, she's been a great sub.
There she is, rolling the sleeves up, almost piggybacking on a Melbourne City player.
Yeah, and probably a little bit too much there. Ekic is facing backwards. There's no need for it.
Ekic is new to the team this week, comes back in. And a big Newcastle welcome from Wilson. Now City with space in the midfield. They've got to find Holly McNamara. If anyone can change this game, she can. And oh, Policina goes down. Huge tackle by Sophie Hoban. And the referees just said there was no malice in it, but Policina throws her hands up in despair, and I kind of agree with her, Leah.
Yeah, look, the Apia Leichhardt teammates there just coming together. In terms of the challenge from Hoban, I do think it is late, and the free kick should be awarded to City.
So a free kick it will be. No card. With a kick, Policina will take herself. Gary Van Egmond strategizing, and Policina kicks it in. Heads up. Emily Van Egmond gets on it first. She attacks, she defends, she scores, she assists, and she sees it out of danger in this instance.
Yeah, and Newcastle want to break up a little bit of the momentum City have at the moment. You can see the substitution being made. with Melinda Barbieri coming on. Again, it's a technically excellent player, should she take the field, who's going to add to this Jets attack and also be dangerous on set pieces.
So Mindy Barbieri, the star striker who came over from Adelaide this year, also a young Matilda who you have had the fortune of having a bit to do with coaching, Leah.
Yeah, she's definitely a super talent. She's probably 2 or 3 cycles back for our YM. And as I've touched on, technically excellent, good dribbler of the ball, both-footed. There's a goal in Barbieri if she's gifted the opportunity once she enters the field.
So it doesn't look like the change has yet been made, but it will be made now. Yes, Barbieri to come on. So plenty of excitement about Barbieri, the striker that they managed to wrangle in the off-season. She hasn't opened her account yet for the Newcastle Jets. But just look at this coaching from Emily van Egmond. Already, as soon as you take the field, you get instructions from the Matilda. And speaking of Matildas, the assist she provided to Lara Gooch had shades of an assist from the World Cup, Leah Blaney. It had shades of the very same ball that went to Sam Kerr for an incredible finish in the semi-final.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of that pass quality, that doesn't happen just on one occasion. That's a consistency for a top draw player like Van Egmond.
So Nino has to jump on that one and does so. Bit of proactive goalkeeping, which will be important as this game goes on and the players start to wear down defences, open up holes, and Wilkinson can't get her foot on it. McNamara almost did. Oh, gosh, there's been plenty of Superman dives in this match. Lara Gooch on that occasion. Possession's really been in favour of Melbourne City, but Leah, you said that it's effective possession that's what matters, and Newcastle seems to have achieved more effective possession.
Yeah, it is that they've made the most of their opportunities, and it's about City, when they do have opportunities, being clinical and putting games to bed earlier. We've seen it all season out of this City side. Extremely talented group of players. They play some good football, but they need to be clinical more often.
Ball in, header from Van Egmond, just went wide. Barbieri also had a touch earlier in that play. And when Barbieri came on, Van Egmond was signalling with her hands, you go up, I'll stay back. If I stay back, you go up. Kind of a staggered attacking press structure. Is that what you would be thinking you distilled from those hand signals, Leah?
Oh, look, I think it's definitely important that they keep a good defensive structure in midfield and keep that balance. We know the quality of Melbourne City. We know that you don't want them to dominate midfield by getting those ball players on the ball in those areas. So it's definitely something that Jets are going to be very mindful of, and I think have executed a good plan throughout the match with.
Gary Van Egmond's strategy is coming off so far. But there's still plenty of time and plenty of air and oxygen in this match. Melbourne City just need to find a way to build up without losing possession. It won't be done like that. McNamara loses a handle on it. And Stott in the centre back. Bangs it upfield. Can't reel it in, can Ekic. But that was a nice ball. She had space ahead to drive into. So the Jets with a throw in. Really congested areas they're working through now. And Stott sends it right. Thomas Chinamar. Grosso. Stott with a long ball. Tries to find Ekic. That one lands perfectly. Ekic reels it in. Nice bit of hopping 1-2. Tries to get around Wilson. Earns the corner kick. So an opportunity now for Melbourne City to earn something out of their last 5 minutes of attack.
Yeah, and it's a massive opportunity. We know that Polisina has a pinpoint delivery on her. She's technically excellent at set pieces. It'll just be a matter of Wilkinson, who's potentially going to be a target, getting on the end of it, or Torpy, some of their taller timbers in there.
Big ball in, tall timber goes up. Wilkinson can't get on it. They'll reset Gallit. Another one in, the second. Oh, it's in! Off the head of McNamara. The first didn't go to plan. The rebound out. Resent in, and McNamara gets on the scoreboard. 2-2.
And that's excellent by the youngster Gallit to pick up that ball in second phase and look to redirect. You can see the Newcastle Jets line are stepping up, so they're going to be a little bit disorganised in this moment. McNamara's proactive. She's making a forward run. She's an excellent finisher anytime she's in that 6-yard box. So really nice second phase worked by McNamara and Daniela Gallit on that corner.
Now hands going up, asking for the offside. And now the Jets have gone all the way up there and not happy to concede. Or just missed a handle on it. And now Melbourne take back control. They're fired up after that. McNamara. And McNamara again wants to find space on her own. She leveled the score. Wilkinson, can she make it another? She can't. So the chaos cross and the rebound in is what has sent this game to a 2-2 arm wrestle. And McNamara sends it again. These players just going down all over the park. Van Egmond boots it across. And Gooch is there, her favourite player to find. Right foot strike. Plenty of power, but straight into the back of Rebecca Stott. It was only a matter of time before Holly McNamara got herself involved in a score. She's now 5 goals from 5 games, Holly McNamara. And it's 2-2 here in Newcastle. Polisina won't be happy to share the points. She is wanting a win. And after all the scraps that this game has entailed, I think there's plenty of passion for both sides in taking the 3 points off the other. So McKenna back to Stott, and there seems to be a lot more composure now for Melbourne City. They're not chasing the game now, Leah.
No, they're sticking their passes. I think the addition of McKenna has been superb in terms of that link play between the back line and the midfielders being able to find forward players.
Gallit wins free. Played on quickly. Ekic. Oh, Wilson, lovely. And wins a free as well.
And that'll be key for Melbourne City in this next 10 or so minutes. Just keeping a bit of composure, not letting the emotion of the game get too much. It's, you know, it's a full house at number 2 Sports Crowd. the Newcastle Jets are going to be scrappy, and all those kind of things are going to play out. So it's just about City keeping a bit of composure and then finding people between the lines to jag that third.
So a substitution, Lara Gooch, who's had an incredible game, comes off. And Dundas comes on, Emma Dundas.
Another local girl, a junior Matilda, and again, just a credit to the quality of players that the area is currently producing.
Isn't it fantastic having the insights of Leah Blaney, young Matilda's head coach, possibly spying a few recruits and people that she's coached and looking at their form. The encyclopedia of women's football is Leah Blaney. So Stott lines it up with Grosso. Stott beats one. That's lovely. Work around Barbieri. Thomas Chinamar back to Stott. Long ball intercepted. And Wilson, Josephine Wilson on screen there, has had such a great few minutes when she's come on. There's another substitution though. Davidson comes on for City. I believe she's replacing Gallit. And there was a chance there for McKenna to shoot. She didn't take it, and now they go all the way back to reset. Melbourne City, Van Egmond still chasing with the high press, and a great crowd building here in Newcastle. 3,207 is the attendance this afternoon in number 2 Sports Ground. Lara Gooch chasing, loses that foot race to Julia Grosso. Grosso boots it upfield, trying to find a player. So over 3,000 fans here at number 2 Sports Ground, and you can hear the passion in the home crowd, Leah. Isn't it great to see?
Oh, it's fantastic to see healthy numbers out in Newcastle today, and again, a credit to the Newcastle Jets' performance. They've delivered with an entertaining game of football that would encourage people to continue to come.
Absolutely. There's been a lot of excitement on both sides of the pitch. And really, at 2-2, it's anyone's game. That one goes the way of the home crowd, and you can hear the jubilation in the stands. They would love to see another goal. And if anyone's going to have something to do with it, it's probably the Matilda on the 4-game stint over in Newcastle, Emily Van Egmond, but she has not had much of it in this second half. Barbieri might be able to create something as well. Thomas Chinamar, and back to Prue. And then back to Stott. Go down the right now, City. Big lob ball. Trying to connect with Wilkinson, couldn't. Or turnover, midfield turnover. That hurts. Now Grosso, a chance. Lovely slide tackle though by Wilson. Grosso follows up. Wilson's there to collect again. Grosso jumps on the errant ball. That one's got too much heat on it. Holly McNamara trying to make something out of nothing. Torpy has a swing. Torpy still on the ball. McNamara collects. Oh, Policina manages to gain possession. Can't. So City with control of the game in the last few minutes. Since they got that second goal, the momentum has shifted remarkably. Jets feel like they're on the back burner.
Yeah, and you can see this Newcastle Jets side, they've got numbers behind the ball. City have to just keep moving it side to side, quicker ball speed, and look to break down this Newcastle side if they're going to sit in deeper.
So that's gone out. Copus Brown was dribbling along the sideline, but I feel like she was well out of bounds. And Melbourne City retained possession. We'll get the stats at the end of the match, but I feel like this second half has really been possessed by Melbourne City. You can't win a match without the ball, Leah.
No, you can't, and it's been interesting to see the addition of Leah Davidson. She's taking up good little positions in midfield where she's on the half turn so she can play forward. You can see her on the ball right now, a player who's returning from a longer injury, so great to see her out there.
Here she goes now. Taking space. Dundas, the substitute. Torpy tries to go through her, can't. Nice little spin out of trouble for Melbourne City. And now Thomas Chinamar has space to roam, and she will. Little bit of footwork, fancy footwork from McNamara.
And this is one of these moments where they have to draw Newcastle out, and ball speed is going to be paramount. So they have to move the ball quickly. They have to move themselves quickly to get in between people and break this Jets block down.
So it feels like something is building for Melbourne City. Rebecca Stott, the captain, eyeing off her options, goes right. Comes back central to Stott, playmaker. Takes a little run up, boots it long. It's a race to the ball, and Nino gets there first. The Jets need to get out of a jam. Wrestling for it is Ekic. And Wilson wins that fight. So time winding down, neither side willing to risk it all just yet. Oh, flying header coming through from Ekic, and that's the passion she has. And it's gone the way of Melbourne City. Just talk us through that one, Leah.
Yeah, look, I'm probably going to agree with EVE on that one. I'll wait to the replay. I'm not really sure whether there was something off the ball prior to that incident, why it's gone that way. We can just see on the replay. Oh, look, I think Ekic is coming in so fast that her momentum in running into Van Egmond there is a little bit of contact, but I don't think it's enough.
Possibly it came off Van Egmond before it went out, and it's hard to say, and that the shadow doesn't make it any easier on this side of the pitch. But anyway, Melbourne City retained possession. Under a minute to go in regular time. We'll wait to see how much injury time is added. Needing little time is Holly McNamara, though, to find the net. She's already found it once. 5 times in 5 games has Holly McNamara. And was just called up to the midfielders this week, actually. She's been named in the squad for a pair of friendlies in Canada to play in December. Big ball coming in. Wilkinson's up. Can't get to it first. Tussle going on between Davidson and Barbieri. So stoppage time, 5 minutes. 5 minutes left to win out. Ball in. Van Egmond sets up Davidson. That's lovely weighted pass for Wilson to run onto, but Stott collects it. Oh, Copus Brown got a heavy engagement by Polisina. And City wanted it more. McNamara wants it even more. McNamara in space, one-on-one with the keeper, and it's gone in! It's rolled all the way to the net, Holly McNamara. And she looks hurt with that attempt, and that goal puts her team ahead, but she is not in a good way. This is not what you want to see when the team should be celebrating a goal.
Yeah, in terms of the pass through by Ekic, it's an excellent, well-weighted pass, a great little run by McNamara, and the finish is clinical. Not what you want to see her collected after she's released that shot.
The finish was absolutely clinical. She body shifted to the left, sold the candy, and then went right, and it rolled in front of the defence. Karapetis unable to do anything about that one, but she's still down on the field here in Newcastle, and we're waiting to see. The team doctors are attending to her now, and a similar situation actually occurred last week when she scored off a header. And she is breathing heavily on the field at the moment. Really not the way you want to celebrate a goal, as I said earlier. Here's the heavy collect again. The goal was beautiful, and that's what's devastating about this.
It's a great finish, and it just appears that Holly seems to land on that right knee there, and we're obviously hoping that it's nothing serious.
She does have an unfortunate history with knees, Leah. You know all too well. 2 ACLs, young Holly Mack, and she's only 20. So we really hope that she's okay. The teams will just take a little moment, and as you can see, everyone's heart is in their throats for Holly McNamara, just named to the Matildas this week. The most powerful player of the striker line in Melbourne City. Time for a drinks break for the Newcastle Jets. A really difficult situation to be in. No one wants to see any player injured after a goal, particularly not that player. The stretch has been brought out. Oh dear. So devastation after elation for Holly McNamara. This was the first brilliant goal by Gallit for Melbourne City. The first shot didn't come off, but the second was perfect. Gallit netted it on the rebound volley.
Yeah, it's a fantastic strike for the youngster. A little bit of Westfield's tickers in there, and as you can see at the other end, Lara Gooch, the cutback decision and the ability to find Emily Van Egmond. Great decision by the youngster, and clinical finish by our Matilda.
Van Egmond and Gooch, the pair of them have been involved in just about every scoring opportunity. As we watch Holly McNamara, who's just scored twice for her team, being stretched off with her head in hands. She's had one of the best weeks in A-Leagues, and to see that go down is just devastating.
Yeah, she certainly has, and we call Holly a lot of things. Young Footballer of the Year, you know, current Matilda squad and that, but she's also one of the most resilient young ladies in this A-League women's setup. So we're hoping for the best for her, and we see her back on the pitch soon.
We absolutely do, Leah. Well said. So there'll be probably a few extra minutes added to the stoppage time, which was previously 5 minutes, but that injury has taken a good chunk of it. So still time for Newcastle Jets to even up the ledger. Barbieri and Van Egmond want to go fast. And they're putting them under pressure. The Melbourne City defensive line. Nice work by Thomas Chinamar. Really composed. Lost a handle on it. Won it back, did Emily Van Egmond. Get out of her way, she says to Davidson, and she does, but can't find the net there. Gone wide to the right. So this probably was just a bit rushed, was it, Leah?
Yeah, look, EVE, she's slightly out of the central goal zone there and a little bit off balance, so it is difficult to execute a shot from that angle. Possibly she takes a touch and just looks to combine instead of shooting.
So they'll go quick anyway. Oh, the Jets appealing for a free there. They won't get it. Wilkinson comes up with it for City. There's a lob ball through, no one home. Melbourne City only need to defend their lead now. And Nino sends it long. Still hoping to get one back. Working really hard, Chico, gut running in defense and just sends it out. Probably a couple of minutes left after that injury. If you're just joining us, Holly McNamara has scored 2 and stretch it off with some kind of knee injury. Torpy, ball in. Torpy still working on it. Wilkinson's in the box. Policina chasing as well. And that'll do it. Full-time whistle here in number 2 Sports Ground. Round 5, Liberty A-League Women. Newcastle Jets up against Melbourne City, and the home side had it in their control for the first half. They went into the change rooms 2-1, but then Holly McNamara ensured that Melbourne City would retain their undefeated streak, scoring twice, 1 goal in the 90th minute in extra time, well, not extra time, sorry, injury time, and then stretch it off. So plenty of storylines to talk about, but Melbourne City come up with the win. And Leah Blaney, how did you see the game?
Oh, look, today was an exciting game of football. It was end to end. We had young players scoring, we had Matildas scoring, really good footage on screen right now of the quality of the future, with Daniela Gallit with that finish and the decision making from our international imports in Ekic to pick out passes. It's an exciting match today.
So Gallit scored the first on that volley. That was an impressive strike. But with Emily Van Egmond in the side, you just knew something was going to happen. And this cross by Lara Gooch set her up, the Matilda's star, for a lovely finish. Chip shot over the goalkeeper. And the cross was perfection.
It's a fantastic delivery by Gooch. It's on her non-dominant foot, and it just shows the quality at both ends.
Speaking of perfection, Van Egmond set up Gooch in return, and that ball was just perfect for Gooch to finish with a clinical shot.
It's a fantastic finish by the youngster who's played for the Northern New South Wales Football Federation, the Newcastle Jets in the NPL Women's, who's now scoring on our A-League stage, combining with the Matilda.
The home star and the home crowd absolutely loved it. And this came out of nowhere. For all money, we thought the ball was out and cleared, out of danger, but there's always danger lurking when Holly McNamara comes up with the header.
Yeah, and this is why Holly McNamara is who she is. It's a fantastic way to pass in by Gallit, who finds McNamara. She's brave. She just gets enough on it to redirect it towards the goal, and as you can see, she's all business.
She's all business. Team goal there, and the counter-attack here was the next one, and Holly McNamara found herself with oodles of space, beats the keeper 1-on-1 to roll it in, but ends up on the ground clutching her knee.
Yeah, it's a fantastic finish by the youngster, and it's the timing on the release of that shot. She doesn't open up too early, so it's very difficult for the goalkeeper to know which way she's going.
Molly McNamara in tears as she was stretched off in the final moments. Now, these are the stats, and you can see the full-time shows just how much possession Melbourne City had. There were a number of shots from Newcastle, and Melbourne City ended up just winning with the relentless possession, Leah.
Yeah, they were definitely more clinical in this second half, and that's the challenge for this Melbourne City side, to be clinical.
21 fouls on the part of Newcastle Jets, so it was not a clean game, but Emily Van Egmond injected plenty of spark to the Newcastle Jets, and something to build on, I think, for the next 3 games as she finishes off her 4-game stint. It's been great calling the action. Kate Allman here with Leah Blaney. Thank you to you, Leah. Thank you to everyone at home. Thank you to the team here. Can't wait to see you next week on Liberty A-League.